Come sit, please. You know, I've been a Hawkeye fan a long, long time. My whole life. Long, long time. Watched a lot of games. Had a lot of heartbreak. A lot of triumphs. Words can't describe where I've been at for the past week. I've refrained from talking about it as much as possible until this moment so I could have full transparency and a genuine reaction. And you're about to get it. Deb, is there anything you want to give before we start?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the floor then, if you don't mind. I've been a Hawkeye fan for a long, long goddamn time. And precursor right now, if you can't handle foul language, turn it off. Turn off the podcast. A good chance you'll need to turn down your headphone volume. Oh. Turn down your headphone volume as well. And the early stutter is not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Invalid fair catch.
I can't fucking believe it. I actually can't fucking.
Invalid fair catch. Let's go ahead and call a spade here. That was a fucking horseshit, dogshit, atrocious, one of the worst calls I've ever fucking seen.
The most bullshit. That was the most bullshit call I have ever seen in my entire life. You get yours out. I'm gonna get my work in.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the floor. Yeah. It's not a secret at this point. Cooper DeJean's running to potentially catch the punt and return it. And he's waving his arms. It didn't even look like he was waving. It looked like he was running and pointing, which is what he was doing. Catches the punt on the sideline after the bounce. Play never stops. Nobody slows down. Nothing. Catches it on the sideline, makes a little spin move, cuts up sideline, cuts across field, scores with just over a minute left. And in comes the review. So, I mean, there's a small panic in the basement at that time. And we go, okay, they're reviewing to see if he stepped out. Which, of course, he didn't. Did not step out. So we go, we're good. Hawks just won the game. Because the Gophers aren't going down the field with just over a minute left and scoring on that defense. They're just not. I'd like to bet. I would bet my left and right testicle.
Yeah.
As well as 12 consecutive butt chugs that Minnesota's not scoring a touchdown after that happens. They're not. There's no way. So, we aren't going to shy away from it. That call ruined the fucking game. And potentially, probably, ruined their season.
Seriously.
So, they ruined the game. So what? It's just one game. Hawks lose. Big deal. Nope. They're currently first place in the Big Ten West. Potential to make the Big Ten championship. Nope. That could potentially be gone. It could potentially be gone. Last thing I would like to say is that these fucking... I can't say the word on the internet, but these blind, striped, ugly idiot fucks absolutely tarnished what that defense and special teams did. Tarnished a potential Big Ten championship for the Hawkeyes. And tarnished an all-time Hawkeye moment for that young man, Cooper DeJean, who is one of the more soft-spoken and hardworking, nice kids you'll ever see. I don't know him personally, but you could just tell. Because he's quiet in interviews. He's always modest. Always. And these fucking referees went out and just fucking ruined it. On what planet is that a fair catch? What planet?
The worst thing I've ever seen. Are you done ranting?
I got to think if there's anything else on my mind.
Well, let me rant, and then if you think
go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor over to this young man because I know he's got a lot to say as a former official. He demonstrated technique earlier. Go ahead.
Like Colby said, we have been Hawkeye fans, football fans, hell, even sports fans for our whole life. And I've seen a lot of sports games, okay? And that might be the worst call I have ever seen in a sporting event. First of all, a fair catch is blatant over the head like this, not like that. And those dumb fucks decided to call this a fair catch. Everybody in their right mind knows that means get away from the ball. The ball's about to hit the ground. Why would he call a fair catch when the ball's hitting the ground? Okay? Oh, my God. And the only reason why, so normally they can't review fair catches. But the only reason why they could is because he scored. And you have to review all aspects of the play. Still, I could think okay, maybe one person saw it. But they came together and all agreed on it. Agreed! What? How did one person go, you're actually blind as shit. No, that's not true. I have talked to many people about this, and they all agree. I don't care what fan you are. Nebraska, you could be a Minnesota fan. You can agree that is a terrible call. I actually can't believe that we got hosed like that. I've never went from such a high to such a low in the matter of that. And I was fuming on Saturday. It ruined my day. It ruined my night. I was pissed about that. I have never seen a call that bad. I literally lost for words on how dog shit that crew of a reffing squad that is. Bullshit is what that is. We got hosed on a Big Ten championship. It was rigged. People don't want to see us, the Iowa, win like that, and they just decided to rig it. Bullshit. Those guys should never ref a football game in their entire life. Ban them from reffing football.
I just wanted to mention, same crew that called Jack Campbell out on the sideline against the Gophers the year prior on a pick six at the end of the game.
Sorry. Host. There isn't any other explanation. We got jobbed for a Big Ten championship, and I am upset. I am so upset. I've talked to refs about this, and they even say, I have no idea what they were looking at. Bullshit. This ruined my season as a Hawkeye fan. It hurts. It really does. It hurts like hell, and I don't know how I'm going to get over this, because fuck those guys. I hope that they stub their toe and have lots of people letting them know that they are the worst refs they have ever seen. Fuck those guys. Ruined my season. I'm done.
Okay. Not only was the call itself infuriating in the moment, but the stuff that we've seen and heard post-game from people has potentially made it worse for me. And I have no problem name-dropping this fucking turd. Bill Corallo, quote from Bill Corallo. I don't know who that is, but Bill Corallo, you're a fucking nerd clown. If you look at a ground video of it,
small wiener.
Good chance he's got a small pecker. You heard it. If you look at a ground video of it, you might say this doesn't look like much of a wave, Corallo said. But if you look at the high camera view, over the top, he's actually waving. Well, I'm going to go ahead and clue you in on something here, Bill. The players, the coaches, the officials are all ground level on the field. That's where they play. That's where they are. That's where they play.
It's not going to change. They will always be on the ground, not in the air.
Yeah, so let me tell you, the fucking bird's eye view that you have, nobody else is looking at that. Nobody. Nobody in history gets a bird's eye view mid-game. As an official, as a player, as a coach, nothing. And then the other thing that absolutely chapped my fucking lips. PJ Fleck, after the game, goes on camera, sits there, acts all emotional, and cries, and like, "This is the first time we ever did it. Never beat Coach Fair's first time. Just so proud of these boys." Fuck you, PJ Fleck. Shut up, you bald nerd. And then he comes out and says after that the Floyd of Rosedale was in the bed with him and his wife that night. They slept with the trophy in their room. If I ever see PJ Fleck in person,
it's on site.
I'm going to punch him straight in his sunglasses. God, I hate that guy. Nobody has ever had more people come out and say what a snake dictator he is, and PJ Fleck can fucking kick rocks. Screw him. Screw the Gophers. Actually, not the players, because I feel bad for them in a way, because they get an asterisk win on a tough road game against a ranked opponent. And then they got fucking fans throwing shit down at the players, which I don't necessarily agree with. Throw it at the officials, as you should. As some would say, I am disheveled. I am disheveled. I can't tell you, I've never had a game ruin a day more than that one. It was bad enough. We had gone out. There was a hole outside of my mother's house, a golf hole. We went out, took a little chipper, did a little chipping and putting, and I knew it was bad when you looked at me and you go, "Dude, I just want to go inside." Direct quote.
My heart was shattered.
Shattered. Absolutely shattered. I'm not only I'm shattered for the defense. They played a tremendous game. Give 12 points. You can't ask for much more than that.
Oh.
I feel sick for the special teams, which happens to include a lot of defensive players. And I feel fucking sick for the fans there watching. Because I know for my little cousins, it was their first Iowa game they'd ever been to. Sick.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Sick. And there will be no accountability for it. None. They're just going to continue to give these pussyfoot excuses. Doesn't even make sense. But they continue to give these dog shit excuses about why it was the right call. No, it's not the fucking right call. Nobody on the field stopped playing.
No.
No whistle was blown. No. If that's going to be an invalid fair catch signal, it has to be that on every single fucking kick, because every single fucking returner does that. They point to the ball to where they're so that their gunners can see where the ball is. Oh my God. It's the same. Every team does it. They run and they point and they say, "Ball's over here." Poison. That was our call. poison, which means get the hell away.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
Back to PJ Fleck. For him to get all emotional for beating the worst offense in the country.
They will now be dead last after this game.
The worst offense in the country. And you want to cry on national television about how you beat. Seems like you just won the Super Bowl, dude. Dude, our offense is terrible.
He slept with the trophy in his bed.
That dude's a loser. An absolute loser. PJ Fleck is a little midget boy who is fucking a horrible coach. Horrible coach. Minnesota hasn't been relevant since he's been there. And the one time they were undefeated and they walked into Kinnick Stadium, the Hawks shoved it up their ass. How's that, PJ? But I could not tell you how upset I was on Saturday. And for PJ Fleck to go out and just rub salt in the wound, fuck you, dude. You should be ashamed of yourself. If I ever saw that dude in public, I would rock his shit. And I want to apologize for the amount of foul language on here. I'm sorry, but we speak for everybody on this podcast, all Iowa fans.
Not to copyright another podcast I listen to, but we're the voice of the voiceless.
Voice of the voiceless. But we speak for all of Iowa fans, and I am sorry for the players. I'm sorry for the coaches. That cannot happen. And I don't even know. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Let's get on with the game stats, because if we talk about it more, I'm just going to freaking throw something. So
these game stats might make you feel worse, Dev. For starters, or go ahead and give the official thing that everybody knows. Hawks are now dead last in total offense. Dead last. Not only are they dead last, but they're dead last by the tune of 170 yards.
We're only averaging 170 yards of offense.
We're averaging 250.
Who's second to last?
Give me a second. I gotta go back now. Oh, here we go. Second last is Eastern Michigan Eagles. Are you looking at the stats? Yeah, it's hard to look at. These stats are hard to look at. Hard. For those that watch the game, know exactly what we're talking about. But we'll go ahead and get into it anyways. Passing, 10 for 28. 10 for 28. 116 yards, no touchdowns, one pick. 10.4 QBR. Ooh. Rushing, 28 carries. This is the team stat. 28 carries, 11 yards. 0.4 yards a carry, and one touchdown. All right. Water under the bridge. Let's head over to the defense. Leading tackler, believe it or not, Jay Higgins.
Jay Higgins. I saw some the other day on Twitter. I saw they posted national.
I got it.
Or,
Get into it. I got the stat.
It was top tacklers in, I think was it college football?
Mm-hmm. Among Power 5.
Jay Higgins has 104 tackles. 105 tackles. that is like leading the nation by
24 tackles. He is first by 24 tackles.
24 tackles. That is mind-blowing. Jay Higgins is throwing up video game numbers. How is he not getting more recognized? Dude's insane.
I don't know. I'm insane. We've been saying this dude Jay Higgins is a dog. He's a dog. And we love him.
Shout out to Jay Higgins.
Some other defensive stats I want to give. They held Minnesota to 10 for 25 passing, 126 yards. That's stellar. That's terrific. And then held them to 45 rush attempts. Held them 45 rush attempts to only 113 yards. Average 2.5 yards a carry. Not only that, they proceeded to not give up a touchdown. I'm hurt.
I think this game, just locked. If they don't get rid of Brian Ferentz next year, then I don't know what they're doing. Because I love Kirk to death, but if he goes with Brian, we got to get somebody else in there that can call plays. We have to. We literally have to. I can't. Not. Okay, let me just finish this sentence. Okay, I know we got jobbed, right? We did not deserve to win that game.
No, we don't. I was going to mention that. You're absolutely right.
We didn't deserve to win that game. One bit. So, that kind of takes away the pain a little bit. But, yeah, we didn't deserve to win that game. And because of our offense. But, dude, why can't we move the ball?
Would you like to get our special guest caller on?
Let's get him up and moving around. Our special guest caller he demanded a call during the podcast because he is going to share some words of wisdom about this weekend and probably just about the call. He was very upset. But yeah, we didn't deserve to win that game one bit. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we just got hosed.
All right.
He's ready to rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got the young man, the Southern Illinois product, the Council Bluffs native, Easton Dermody, Wormy D. Go ahead and take it away. You're now on speakerphone. Why don't you go ahead and say hello real quick?
How you doing, folks?
Tell you what, this guy's built for the social media world. All right.
Go ahead and share
You requested to be a guest after the final result of the Minnesota game. We have been going for about 23 minutes now, and it's been about 23 minutes of dogging the officials and PJ Fleck.
Take it away.
No,
You can go ahead and...
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to get this out of the way. PJ Fleck is a nerd.
Thank you.
That guy, get him out of Minnesota. Get him out of the Big Ten, actually. It's an embarrassment that that's a coach in the Big Ten. Dislike him a lot.
Hate him.
I hate a lot of people. You know me. You know me personally. I don't hate a lot of people, I hate that guy. Really don't. I'm glad he doesn't have any hair. He doesn't deserve hair.
Did you know that he slept with the trophy in his bed?
Yeah, no, the guy, if I was his wife, I'd divorce him. The guy's a nerd. And second, the refs made just a terrible call. That can't happen in that situation. Took one of the greatest plays so far, I think, in this college football season, and maybe could have gone down as one of the better plays in Iowa football history.
That's what I said. Potential all-time Iowa moment.
And it took it away from a young man that's just been carrying the team this year, and really just put a damper kind of on the season. up to this point. But I also don't want that whole situation to take away from what is going on with our offense. I
Yep.
mean,
You're
I know
exactly
we've
right.
said it. I know we've said it multiple times. Every Iowa fan out there has said it multiple times. The most frustrating thing is we've been saying it for multiple years now. And I think the fact that there hasn't been any change whatsoever is just absolutely ridiculous, and maybe one of the worst jobs at higher ups in sports, like sports or like programs and stuff. The higher ups are, I mean, they're failing. They're failing their fans. They're failing their state at this point. I mean, there's really no better way to put that.
They're
Failing their
failing
state
the
and they're failing the
players.
fans. Exactly. They're failing the players. The players deserve so much better. Look, I mean, Deacon Hill, yeah, he might not be like the greatest quarterback right now, but God, he's a sophomore, right? He's
Correct.
a sophomore. Guy could grow and learn in a program and maybe become a solid guy as a senior. But we saw what happened to Petrus. He spent 4 years in there, and he got worse year in and year out.
He did, in fact,
got
get
worse.
worse.
So how can we sit here and say, yeah, Deacon's a sophomore. He just needs a couple more time, get some more games under his belt. We can't say that. As long as Brian is there, we can't say that.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A point I wanted to mention was the Hawks brought in a proven, experienced quarterback who played for a good team in big moments and played well in big games. And he
Yes.
comes into this Iowa system. Granted, he wasn't necessarily 100% healthy, but he couldn't do a damn thing with this offense.
Well, and it goes back. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but Brian has a shitty system, and when you bring a system quarterback in, I'm not saying Cade's bad for being a system quarterback. There's plenty of great system quarterbacks out there, some legends that have played this game that are system quarterbacks. You have to be in a good system to be a good system quarterback. And Cade McNamara was in a great system at Michigan, and he was a great QB. Now, you can't have a system quarterback come into a bad system and expect him to go out there and just win football games for you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
You're correct.
I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, and I really hate to do that because I enjoy your podcast. I respect it. I don't want to disappoint the fans that are listening, but it's just unbelievable.
It's embarrassing,
it really
is what it is.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It really is. I mean, I'm down here in Southern Illinois, and there's maybe one more Iowa fan on my team, but not to the extent that I am. I mean, I'm diehard, man. They lose, it ruins my day, right?
Absolutely.
It ruins my week. I mean, granted, it ruins my week. And every day I come to practice, and if Iowa does something, it's just I just get everybody and their moms just telling me like, "Oh, Iowa lost." Yeah, well, we know. I know. All right, I saw the game, and my week is already ruined, and you're making it worse. It's what I want to tell them, but I don't. I just kind of, I take the punches because, as a teammate, you gotta kind of take that stuff, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, you got Missouri fans down here all over the place, and they're having a good season, so that's all I hear about. And I mean, when Iowa was winning, I mean, yeah, they were scoring 13 points or 12 points against Wisconsin and all these other dog shit teams, but they were winning, so I could say, yeah, we're still winning. Like, your offense sucks. I'm like, yeah, well, we're 5-1. Now we're fucking 5-2, whatever we are, but we suck. We're terrible, and I'm tired of it.
Terrible. I just feel sick for the players on defense. I feel sick for the players on special teams, and I feel sick for most of the players on offense because they deserve better.
They do. And I mean, we're gonna get deep here. I do think Brian's a terrible OC. He's a terrible offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a terrible coach. Because you go back to some great Iowa teams, 2015, whatever. That offensive line on there, they were a couple of fucking big dudes that were just getting the job done day in and day out, right? The offensive line was.
Absolutely.
And guess who the offensive line coach was? It was Brian Ferentz. So I'm not saying Brian's a terrible coach. He's just not a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah. It never fails to blow my mind how much worse they got when they moved him to quarterbacks coach.
It was it really.
I
It's
just don't
like
understand why.
You know when you hear about other teams like moving a coach from a position to a different one, and then they're like, yeah, we've sucked ever since then. But you don't really see it as you're not a fan of the team, and now being a fan of a team that's happened to, just seeing a pro or like a part of the offense just take a steady decline. Maybe one of
Not
the worst
steady.
things I've
It's a
ever tried to
steep
watch.
decline.
You're right. It's not.
It's
Yeah,
damn near
you're right.
free falling.
They are officially dead last in offense.
Yeah, no, it's unreal. I mean, you saw like that 2015 team, man. You saw like our offense.
We
was
scored
average.
62 points in one game.
Yeah, but like Devin, you go back to it. I mean, it wasn't like we had dogs all over the place. I mean, yeah, we had C.J. Beathard and Smith out there at receiver, but and Kittle tight end. Like we had some dudes, right? We had some dudes, but it wasn't like our goddamn offense was just the best in the land. Right? Our defense was just as good as it is now, and our special teams was as good as it is now. Our offense is where the problem is, and obviously we all know this. But we just need an average. We need an average offense, and you can see what happens to an Iowa football team.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they were undefeated Big Ten championship, Rose Bowl.
It is unbelievable.
Unbelievable is what it is. It hurts. It really does.
And I correct me if I'm wrong here, fellas. We have a bye week this week, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this bye week is just as important as a fan as it is a player. I mean, I need a break.
You're not wrong.
So true.
Not wrong at all, dude.
Throw a flag on that.
Could you imagine having to roll in to a game against Northwestern at Wrigley Field after you just lost to Minnesota? As a fan, that might just be you just got kicked in the nuts and now they're kicking you in the face while you're on the ground.
Gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
I mean that Northwestern game next week, fellas.
It's going to be a hard watch.
Might be the worst college football game in college football this year.
They might even be on TV.
They should set the over-under at 7.
I mean, it's just going to be awful to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear my score prediction when the time comes.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's not good.
Yep.
Would you like to give an early score prediction for that game, actually?
Yeah, you know what? Sure, why not?
What you got?
So, actually, I'll just go through the game. I feel like I've been able to do this every weekend and been pretty close. I called the Penn State game. I called the Penn State game, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Interesting.
So I think at one point we're going to get a safety. Torrey's going to put it deep. I can see that happening mid-second, mid-first, kind of an early type thing. So we'll go. I think we'll be up. We're going to be up 8 to 6 at the end. 8 to 6 at the end of the first half. We're gonna get that safety, and we're gonna get 2 field goals, and they're gonna have 2 field goals at the end of the first half. That's what it's gonna be. And then I think we come out and we score, so it'll be 15-6 final score. 15-6 Iowa wins.
That's not a bad prediction at all.
No, I don't. I think it's a fair prediction. I really like how you gave an in-depth reasoning behind it, as well as how they scored. I like that.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, I think Northwestern's gonna have if there was an over/under on turnovers, Northwestern's got to be set at 2.5, and I'm hammering the over if I could.
Absolutely.
They're
Obviously,
so bad.
I can't right now, obviously.
But Northwestern
I'm not
beat
allowed to.
Minnesota.
Not allowed to. And then Iowa's turnovers, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're not going to throw the rock, so I guess our turnovers probably won't be too high because we won't throw the rock. But, I wouldn't put it past the old, hit on the QB, oh no, the ball's out.
Fair.
But, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of, I'm in Illinois right now. Granted, I'm in Southern Illinois, but I can't imagine it's really much different in Chicago. It's damn windy down here right now, fellas. So, I don't know what the weather's looking like there in Chicago, but they don't call it the Windy City for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That is absolutely true.
You're right. You're right about that.
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, I really don't have much else to say, fellas. And if you have any questions for me, go ahead and shoot. But
yeah, I do. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Hawkeyes' last hope of a drive. Let's go ahead and put the botched fair catch signal behind us. Hawks got the ball in very good territory. All they need is a field goal to win.
Okay. Yeah.
They end up going backwards and throwing a pick. What was going through your mind that whole drive? Because I can tell you what was going through your mind.
Once the call was overturned, a very big part of me knew it was over.
I believe, I don't remember if it was you or not, but somebody in our group chat said ball game.
I think it was me. It had to be. Because I'm going to be honest with you, shirt was off and thrown against the wall. I was cussing on my TV when it was called because I knew the game was over. I mean, I think every reasonable Iowa fan knew that ball game was over.
Yep.
Fellas, we had how many yards of offense total that game? 136?
127.
I even highballed it, and I was trying to go low ball.
I highballed it.
And I mean, in the second half, we had 2 total yards.
Yeah,
You got to try and do that, first of all.
Guys, you know what's crazy? We had 2 total yards, and one of our plays in the second half was a 6-yard QB sneak. How do you explain that to anybody that didn't watch the game?
I also wanted to bring up, not only did they have that pathetic of a showing in the second half, but this was their scoring drive. The drive that they scored a touchdown, this is what it looked like. 4-yard run, 2-yard run, face mask on a sack, so bump them up. 4-yard run, pass interference on an incomplete pass, bump them up. Offsides, bump them up. 2-yard run, 0-yard sneak, 0-yard sneak, unsportsmanlike conduct, 1-yard QB sneak touchdown. Officially, a 6-play, 46-yard touchdown drive.
That is unreal.
46-yard touchdown drive, and their longest play was 4 yards.
I mean, I honestly, that is crazy. You're telling me this, and I'm trying to remember back and watching that game. Yeah. I think I was just so shocked that we even scored a touchdown against that Minnesota defense that I don't even realize how we did it.
Yeah,
that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I when I turn on, so like everyone down here, like all my buddies come over to my apartment to watch college football on Saturdays, and they hate it when the Iowa game comes on because I refuse to put any other game. If the Hawks are playing, I'm watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. They could not win a ball game all year. I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to watch that 12th game. You can guarantee it. You know what I mean? But yeah, they hate it, and I really don't realize. I guess I've fallen so much in love with how we find a way to win a ball game every time, like the defensive and the special teams way, that it kind of offsets how much watching that offense is the worst thing a human could go through.
Oh, yeah. That absolutely happened against Wisconsin because we came here talking about how awesome it was.
Oh, I mean, that Wisconsin game was just awesome. I mean, we were playing a fall game, and I couldn't watch it, but I was asking our trainer who had his phone on him what the score was multiple times. I mean, in an inning, I'd be asking him, you know? But yeah, I mean, I think I've fallen in love with just the two sides, those special teams and defense, that I don't even realize how sometimes we score on the offensive side and how ugly it really is.
You want to know something else that's going to put it in perspective how ugly it is? So that scoring drive, they had 13 yards rushing. That was the only yards they accounted for.
Uh-huh.
And in the game, they ended with 11 yards rushing. The whole game.
Wow.
I didn't realize that until I just pieced that together right now.
Wow. Well, I mean,
took them 3 tries to sneak it in from a yard.
And the unfortunate thing is, I feel like we do this every week.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a stage. So, you know, Saturday comes around, you get excited for the Hawk game. You watch the Hawk game. We either win, or if we win, you don't really think how we won. You're just like, you know what, we won. I'm happy. We're in a driver's seat for the Big Ten West Championship, you know?
Yep.
And then, you know, you go on throughout your week looking forward to the next game. Now, when you lose, at least for me, what I go through, We lose Saturday, whatever time it is, and then I choose to, let's forget about the night, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Find the
then,
bottom of a bottle.
Yep. And then Sunday, I can kind of distract myself with NFL football and the fantasy teams.
Yep.
And then, Monday rolls around, and then it just all floods in. I think about just
You can't escape it.
what we could have done differently, what could have happened. This week it was, how can the refs do that to us? And then Tuesday, it's right back to, like, what are we going to do in the future? How can this be our future with all these new teams coming in?
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, it's the same stuff. And then Thursdays, I get excited because I know you guys are doing the podcast, and then the next day, Friday, I watch the podcast and I get to see you guys talk about it. And it's unreal because we don't really talk about it, throughout the week, maybe a couple times, but we don't really talk about it much. And you guys just point, you get every point out there that I was thinking. And that makes me think that every Iowa fan is thinking the exact same thing.
I was just about to say that. I think every single person that watches Hawkeye football religiously thinks the exact same thing.
Yep. It's the same shit every week, though.
It is. No, it really is. And I hate to be this guy. I hate to be this guy because last year I hated guys that were saying this, but I hate to be this guy. Fellas, even before Brian was the OC, the old OC, we were calling for his head and calling for his job. I don't know if the OC is really the problem. Now, granted, they do create the system, and the system's always been terrible. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anything's going to change massively until Kirk is gone.
I think you're
and I hate to
right.
say that.
Me as well.
I hate to say that.
Yeah.
I love Kirk to death.
Love him. Guy's been,
he deserves a
arguably
statue.
Arguably best coach ever, definitely second best coach ever in Iowa history. Gotta shout out Hayden Fry,
Absolutely.
Good man. For Iowa.
Yeah. But, I just with, like, the future of the Big Ten, you see these absolute powerhouses of offenses like Washington and Oregon and UCLA and USC. There is just no way we can keep up defensively with those teams to win ball games.
Well, you saw it happen against Penn State.
Exactly.
Eventually it hits
Penn
a point
State,
where they just can't do it anymore.
And Penn State got worked by Ohio State, a team that's already in the Big Ten.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The Big Ten teams like Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay the same. Then we add in those four teams. And you know what? I hate to say this just as much as I hate Nebraska. God damn it. I love that Matt Rule hiring. That's a great hire.
Nebraska actually looks good.
And I hate it. I hate it so much because that might be my most hated college football team out there.
He said some good things about Iowa, too.
He did.
Nothing good to say after last week, but
he gets it. If you look back to what he's done in the past, he took Temple the year before he was there was like a 1-11 team. His first year there, they were like, I don't know, 3-9 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then the next year there, they were like 7-5. And then year 4, they won their conference tournament and made a bowl game. And then he leaves, goes getting hired at Baylor. Baylor was terrible before he got there. They were terrible his first year, solid their second year. And then you guys remember their fourth year there, they're damn near in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
The guy is a program. He turns around programs like it's nothing.
Yeah, he's good coach.
To be honest with you, a program like Nebraska seems pretty easy to turn around.
Well, you can't go down.
You can't. You can't go down, and the amount of recruits they get on a daily basis or every year is just unreal. I don't understand how they continue to do it.
I don't either. There must be some good NIL money in it.
The history there is ridiculous, but it doesn't. History, I feel like recruits don't really give a damn about history.
No, I don't think so. Not really.
Honestly, Caden Proctor didn't.
No shit.
We send out O-linemen like it's nothing, and then he commits, and he's like, you know what, actually, I'm going to go to Alabama. Which he's getting absolutely – if you watch any Alabama game, he gets blown up every time.
He's getting worked. What did I say? Uncoachable.
Absolutely. But, also, I want to put this out here. did you see the NCAA's delaying investigation or whatever? So Noah Shannon is definitely not playing this year, which I think is utter bullshit, and the NCAA should grant him another year if he wants it. Absolutely ridiculous.
I did see that. Yeah. That poor kid's getting screwed out of his last year.
Unbelievable. I'm happy enough that he played good enough last year that he'll definitely get a shot in the NFL.
I think
But
so.
he won't be able to get as much money as he should be able to get. He should have gotten if he was able to play this year, in my opinion.
No, same thing with Eric and Luke. I think both of them could have potentially gotten drafted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But now they're both hurt and definitely won't.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I saw a couple mock drafts where Cooper's going in the first round, which I think he should.
Yeah.
I think he's proved that this year. I mean,
For
the guy
sure.
is
Crazy good at football.
Yeah,
he's unreal.
He's terrific.
And then I don't know if you guys saw, but Jay Higgins leads the country in tackles.
Yeah, you already know we talked about our guy.
Shout out to Jay Higgins.
Jay Higgins, gotta love him. Guy's an animal. Shout out to his dad.
Yeah, shout out to Roy.
Shout out to Roy.
Big fan of Roy Higgins too.
Yeah.
What are we up to? 5 Hawks now, right? Tweets out 5 Hawks every time.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
So.
Yeah.
They were up to 5.
Yeah.
5 what?
But
every time Roy Higgins posts a tweet, he says hawk, 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 hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, fellas. I mean, if you have no more questions for you,
No, I mean,
want to say thanks for letting me on the podcast and kind of vent to you fellas for a little bit.
Thanks for coming on. I mean,
absolutely.
a lot of much needed stuff was said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely we'll reassess and see how your prediction plays out for the toilet bowl.
Yeah, no kidding. Toilet bowl for sure. But all right, fellas.
We'll let you get out of here.
All right. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Later, young man.
See you, Worm.
See you.
All right. We haven't done it yet, but let's go ahead and clap it up for Wormy D.
Just a man who gets it. Just a man who gets it. Yeah, he basically just every thought we had as Iowa fans, he hit it just right on the money. He said it all. I don't got much. We don't have a score prediction this week. There's freaking bye week, so it's gonna be a long Saturday without Iowa football.
But it's gonna be a fun Saturday because we got some Halloween outfits, and we were originally gonna wear Halloween outfits on the pod, but I don't think it'd be appropriate. So we decided to stick with the old officials outfit.
Yeah, I mean, ex-ref here.
I feel like it fits the situation too.
For sure. But yeah, I don't got anything else to say, man.
I don't either. I mean, it was basically a 50-minute episode complaining, which is exactly what was warranted, I think. Good thing there's no game next week or this weekend. A much-needed bye week for the fans, as the young man said, and for the players. I'm sick for them. They deserve better.
Absolutely.
They deserve better from the officials, from the coaching. They deserve better.
I feel bad for him. It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's bad. Yeah, you heard it here first. It's so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, much needed bye week. Thank God. I'm ready to go if you are.
Yeah. Everyone have a happy Halloween. If you're not belly up on a stretcher this weekend, you're doing it wrong, because I sure as hell will be. And stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Hopefully we have something good to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have anything good to say this week. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in for our little rant. We're done. Water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. We're done with it. I'm done. I'm sick of it. Here he comes, Mr.
Get us out of here, gosh.
All right, we're out of here. Go Hawks. Fuck the refs. Fuck PJ Fleck. We're out of here.